both love.
An all-new Dr. Phil.
Nobody wiping you.
These videos portray me as a monster.
3.2 million people have seen them.
They look like adults.
My was thrown all over the road.
I wish you well. In hell.
But they're behaving.
You're functioning at an emotional age of about 14.
Like kids.
I'm moving on. Without you.
Too bad, Suzanne.
Moving on, Tiffany.
Too bad, Suzanne.
You guys need to grow up and calm down. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Get ready to take care of you. Well, it seems like everywhere you turn these days, there's another person being filmed by a stranger at their worst moment. Everybody's got a camera. And then the video is posted online for all the world to see. But what happens when it is someone you love recording you and then posting it? Well, that's exactly what Marcus says happened to him when his fiancée Tiffany went online to expose what she called his narcissistic behavior. She says she never imagined her video would go viral with over 3 million views. Take a look.
Making videos for what?
True.
Why are you making videos all the time?
No, that is true. Trying
to embarrass me. Why?
Marcus left on our anniversary. That was the day I posted to TikTok. Talk to expose his behavior. I took videos that I recorded in the past and put the story together.
Tiffany made me look like a narcissist.
Marcus told me that he had someone else and that he was going to go be with them and that he didn't love me anymore. I felt extremely sad, hurt, and embarrassed because I was planning our wedding.
Tiffany posted a TikTok because she thought I was going to leave her and she wanted to humiliate me. Tiffany's a really smart girl. She posted that TikTok with an agenda. The agenda was to embarrass me.
Marcus said he cheated because of this whole relationship I've made him feel unwanted. The videos are of him being threatening, physically threatening. He's a big guy. I absolutely did take his control and his power away. And he even said this to me, you're hurting my image. Marcus likes to play the victim. He needs to be seen what he's doing. His opinion of me seems to be very low. He thinks I'm coming here to dump him on national television.
I questioned Tiffany's motives on bringing me on Dr. Phil.
I told him that I wasn't going to take the TikToks down, and he said, what's more important, TikTok or me?
Well, Marcus claims she put that up for one reason and one reason only, and that was to humiliate him with the videos. And he also says she fabricated her content and left some very important details on the cutting room floor.
I'm moving on. Without you. And I don't need you in my business.
Okay, too bad.
Tiffany was online posting stuff trying to embarrass me. In the meantime, she was texting me, calling me, begging me to come home, showing up to my job. She even was texting me to come over in the middle of the night, and those texts weren't posted. Those screenshots weren't posted.
Too bad, Suzanne.
I'm moving on, Tiffany.
Too bad, Suzanne.
The reason I left is because she posted that video and made me lose all trust. I completely think it's unfair because it took a compilation of 2 to 3 videos, put them into a TikTok of me at my lowest. And that's why I don't trust her motive. There was no context at all. She just goes online, posts that I'm a narcissist, and people jump all over it. I think she's in the mindset of being a victim, whether it's being physically abused in the past, which she was, but that's not who I am. And these videos portray me as a monster.
Nobody wiping you.
She posted phone calls that made it look like I was stalking her. That's completely untrue. She was actually calling me, blowing me up to come home. She stayed calm on the phone call because she was reporting me. She had an ulterior motive. My was thrown all over the road. I actually ended up getting all those clothes back, and to me it looked like it was completely staged. I think she posted phone calls and videos of me because she likes the attention.
Marcus, Tiffany, how are you two doing today?
Doing well. How are
How
you?
are you?
Well, I'm very interested to talk to the two of you. Marcus, you're a little nervous about being involved in all this, right?
Absolutely.
Because she's dragged you out in front of the world, video-wise, and now she's dragging you onto television, video-wise, to talk
Yes.
about you some more, right?
Absolutely, yes. I'm very reluctant.
Okay, well, don't be, because we're going to just talk about this, and I'm not here to throw anybody under the bus. We'll just see who fits as we go along here. Now, Tiffany, you say that you put these videos up for what reason? What was your goal? What was your objective?
I know Marcus will go on like a smear campaign of me when or we have an argument. He'll go tell, like, he called both my best friends, my mom, and I just wanted people to see the truth.
Is that true, Marcus? Do you,
No.
when you
No,
get
I
upset,
actually
do you go to her? Do you go to her allies and badmouth her?
No, I never went to her allies until probably a week after the TikTok was actually posted.
Tiffany, I went through all the things that you said. We interviewed you. You were very forthcoming. Both of you were, actually. And so I pulled out all the reasons you gave for posting the videos. You said to stop Marcus's smear campaign, which is what you just told me. You said to expose who he really is. To who?
To everybody. He has this image that he wants to portray, and his image is more important than anything to him.
Okay, well, how many of those 3.2 million people that viewed the video that got the most views, how many of those 3.2 million people do you think he knows?
Probably, I don't know, a handful.
Like he might know 6 or 7 out of 3.2 million?
Correct.
Well, that's a little overkill.
Well, family and friends already have a pre-decided idea of who he is, this image he's concocted, and it's made. Oh, he's always making me out to be the aggressor, the bad one, the problem in the relationship. It also stops him from, I think, doing more embarrassing things or being more aggressive, because he knows now that I might post it, and now a lot of people might see it.
Well, we'll see. You said you also wanted strangers to comment on the way he treats and speaks to you. You wanted him to hear someone other than you hear how abusive his language is. And you won't take down the videos because it would, quote, make me look stupid.
Well, I mean, I think it would be stupid now to take them down. I mean, 3.2 million people have seen them.
I mean, her saying that she wanted strangers to comment on it just proves my point. She wanted to humiliate me. She didn't want to show me.
It wasn't humiliating at all. It's, you need to see another perspective besides what your mommy tells you and what, your close friends tell you.
I don't tell friends or family anything about
Yes,
our
you
relationship.
do.
You do.
You go straight to your parents' house every time.
I keep it between us. No, Dr. Phil, you've never seen a TikTok, a post, any type of post of me bashing her, saying anything like that. Never.
You're still recording videos of Marcus since he's returned home, right?
Correct.
And what are you doing with those?
I pull up. Originally, he used to always be the one that recorded me. When his demeanor starts to get more aggressive or more violent, just from experience, I know that someone less likely to hit you or be abusive if you're recording, because they don't want to be caught.
I've never been abusive.
I mean, I have hundreds of, tons of stuff I would never post because it's just an argument. But I want to make sure he knows it. If he wants to get physically aggressive towards me, it's going to be recorded.
I think that's because she's had that in the past. I've never physically abused her, but she has.
No, he hasn't physically abused me. No.
Thank you for saying that.
Okay, well, there was a video that Tiffany posted that I guess was meant to be a joke, but I'm not sure why. Let's take a look. Okay, so it said when he walks out on you for the second time right before Christmas, you and your kids right before Christmas for a second time, and it shows you deciding between a baseball bat and a rifle.
Right. It's actually a BB gun, but.
Yeah, well, it's a gun. And hashtag fighting, hashtag narcissistic survivor, hashtag real life, hashtag I'm done, hashtag single life, hashtag funny. What was your objective in posting this?
That was just a joke.
You posted a video with over 11,000 views of yourself bloodied and bruised, but you said you've never been physically abused. And
yeah, I mean, it says in the very first caption that was me, my first marriage for the first 10 years.
Well, no, it says see more, and you have to go past that comment into a secondary part of the post that's not shown, that then says that this is referring to your first marriage 10 years ago. So you have a series of posts about Marcus, and then you show one where you're bloodied and beaten.
I was mad about that one, by the way.
And then as a secondary part of the post where you have to click to see more, you explain that it was about your marriage 10 years ago. So, Marcus, did you think that implied that it was you?
Yeah, because I think that people, the day and age that we live in, people are just quick to look at the video and not really read the caption, especially click more to see the caption with all the hashtags that implied that people thought that I was the abuser. And if you look at the comments, there actually are people that think I was the abuser. Mind you, she does say that it's not me, and she does in the comments it's not me, but it portrays that image. That
was staged, right? That wasn't real blood. It wasn't.
No, it's a TikTok filter.
Tiffany says one thing she hasn't posted about are Marcus' accusations about her infidelity, which includes cheating with Good Samaritans at the grocery store. That's after the break.
Marcus says he cannot trust me.
The thing that pushes my buttons the most is when she makes threats so that she's going to leave. The only reason I make accusations is when she makes those threats.
Marcus's main phrase is, if you're going to be my wife, you're going to behave and follow my rules. I'm not following your rules. Looking back, I think a lot of things were red flags with Marcus. Where we going, babe?
On a museum.
Yeah, baby. He was very pushy in the beginning, wanted to be exclusive right away. Even though I was going through a divorce, Marcus and I moved in together probably 3 months after dating. He got rid of his house. I didn't want him to get rid of his house. Marcus said he was different from other men. I'm extremely independent. He sees that as a threat.
Well, from posting about out-of-control airline passengers to outing your own spouse for their bad behavior, there seems to be no shame in anyone's game anymore. Marcus says his fiancée, Tiffany, humiliated him online, but she insists there is a lot more about him she could have revealed.
Marcus says he cannot trust me, that he'll never trust me, and I can't get married if that's the case. And I've never done anything to make him not trust me. I've never cheated.
The thing that pushes my buttons the most is when she makes threats so that she's going to leave or be with someone, and she knows that. She's a beautiful woman, and she plays on it.
Marcus will go through my DMs, and if someone messages me, he gets mad at me. Everything makes him uncomfortable. He says that all women are cheaters, and I don't think he has a high opinion of women, to be honest. The grocery store, if I get dressed up at all, or I'm going there to be thirsty or to get attention from men. If he can't get a hold of me for an hour, it's not that there's 6 or 8 kids in the house, it's that I must be cheating. If I'm late from work at all, I know you were cheating that night. I have his location, he has mine, but he will still question where I'm at when I know he can see my location. And heaven forbid it glitches or something, oh my.
The only reason I make accusations is when she makes those threats. Since day one, Tiffany's made threats in the comments that she's wanted to leave, had one foot out the door.
He's very jealous, very possessive. I went to the gym and I looked out the window and he was just sitting there in his car, and I walked out the front door, it was recording, and he sped off. Marcus's main phrase is, no wife of mine is going to act like that. So if you're going to be my wife, you're going to behave and follow my rules. I'm not following your rules.
Okay, Marcus, let me ask you something. Now, I want to be very clear. Tiffany, I think you posting this stuff online, not constructive, not helpful, doesn't bode well for this relationship. Now, having said that, Marcus, are you, in fact, losing your temper and calling her names? calling her slut, calling her whore, calling her really bad names when you yell at her and scream at her?
I have before, yes.
Okay. Do you have any doubt in your mind that that is verbal abuse?
No, I agree. That could be verbally abusive, yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely, unequivocally unacceptable and not something that you should be doing with this woman or any woman. I don't care what she's doing. She does not deserve that. And Tiffany, you shouldn't put up with that. You don't deserve that. You've had that in the past. You don't need it now. And whether you can trust her or don't trust her, whatever you say to yourself, doing that is not justifiable in any way whatsoever. Do you think it helps the situation, Marcus, when you do that?
No, not at all.
But why do you do it?
You know, my tempers get flared, and I used to do it a lot, but then I just started leaving to get away.
What do you say to yourself that gives you permission to demean this woman in that way, to call her names and put her down?
Because I feel like she's always trying to humiliate me or trying to get someone else on her side to bash me. I feel like she never really has anything good to say about me. So when the heat of the moment, you know, I say things I don't mean.
And I actually don't talk to anybody about a relationship. I don't talk to my mother. I have one cousin that I talk to, and she's the only person I confide in about anything. And
well, now 3 million people know.
I don't want to focus on that right now. I want to focus on the fact that this woman that you say you love, this woman that you're sharing a home with, this woman that you want to provide and protect, this woman that you profess to care about, you're demeaning, you're threatening, you're calling names, you're putting her down. How do you think she feels when you do that, and how do you want her to feel when you do that?
Well, you know, I don't have an ulterior motive to try to like make her feel bad or make her feel less of herself, which I know it probably does. But like I said, in the heat of the moment, you know, if we're arguing and she's saying stuff to push my buttons, I'm going to say stuff to push her buttons.
I'm moving on without you, and I don't need you in my business.
Okay, too bad. Too bad, so sad.
I'm moving on.
As you hear that played back to you, how does it sound to you?
I haven't seen Chris.
Say that Tiffany sets you up by provoking you so you'll lose your cool while she stays calm. Let's take a look at this.
This is how you respond to a narcissist.
Another man like me ever. Let the whole world know. The whole world knows you won't find another man like me. Not one. Nobody's f***ing wife in you.
okay, you tried.
No, I didn't.
Couldn't though, could
No,
you?
I
You
didn't.
failed.
I was never gonna
Failed. That's why you
Never.
spent that money on it though. Hey.
Listen, who else got a ring?
Hey.
Who else I give a ring
Hey. Hey.
to? Go party.
Hey.
Go party.
Already did.
Go party.
Already did.
I wish you would.
Already
It's
did.
over.
Already did.
It's
Promise.
over. I'm moving on. I'm moving on without you, and I don't need you in my business.
Okay, too bad. Too bad, so
I'm
sad.
moving on, Tiffany.
Too bad, so sad.
I'm moving on.
You better
Are
put
you
that
listening?
bitch. You better put that bitch in Taekwondo classes in the back of a Walmart Supercenter.
Okay, I just have to ask you too, as you hear that played back to you, how does it sound to you?
Humiliating. It is absolutely humiliating.
Ridiculous. It sounds like I'm being a child and trying to irritate him.
If we could treat the voices so you couldn't tell they were adults, it really would sound like two children on the playground saying, yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not.
Right.
I mean, it really would sound like grade school children arguing on the playground.
Correct.
I would agree.
It just gets irritating, so I just start talking to him like he's a child.
Why would I call over and over again to tell her I'm moving on?
But you do. I have
She was
proof of
calling
it.
me,
I do.
blowing
I
me
have
up
proof
while I'm
of
at
it,
work.
though. Yes,
And-
yes,
Yeah.
I did ask you to come back. Yes, I did ask you to work.
Every
on things.
day, every hour.
You know, Marcus, you say that a lot of this is you being set up and it's all just some fantasy. Tiffany posted videos throwing his belongings out of her car and pretended to slice up his clothes. And Marcus says this was all phony baloney just for attention. Take a look.
I wish you well. In hell.
I really
Burn in hell.
Okay, Marcus, why do you say that that was phony baloney?
Because in the video where she's cutting up the clothes, actually those clothes didn't get cut up. I got those clothes. However, she did cut up the one thing that I didn't want cut up, and she knew that. She did do that. And also the stuff that fell out of the car, that was all in a bag, and I had all the shoes and stuff as well too. So, and if when you're watching the TikTok of her driving, you actually see like the car start to hit a U-turn to come back and get it. And I was like, yeah, that's completely staged.
Well, Marcus says all of Tiffany's posts are just for attention and online clout. Is he right? Well, Tiffany said something in her interview with us that, I don't know, it just seemed kind of telling. We'll hear what that was after the break.
Ever.
I don't know if Marcus is a narcissist, but he definitely acts like one. It's always someone else's fault, not his, why he behaved the way he behaved. He blames me for the TikTok, even though the TikTok was made in response to him. It's always my fault, or someone else's. And Marcus will say, if you weren't always trying to get other guys' attention, or for you to put as much effort into me as you do other guys, I wouldn't have to leave. Mind you, there's 6 kids in the house. Another guy is the last thing on my mind. I don't think Marcus's behavior will change.
We just saw a little photo there that is really why we're here. There's not one, there's not two, there's not 3, 4, 5, 6. There are actually 8 children involved in this whole situation, correct? 6 in the home?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And
Correct.
unless you're living in Windsor Castle, this is all happening in front of these children. True?
No, not necessarily.
Well, it is now because it's on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're seeing more now, but like I often, like some of the videos you see me, it's always in the car. I'll retreat to the car, to the garage when he starts to get loud, because he has said things in front of them, and he knows I don't like that, especially with older girls. I don't want them to relive anything that they went through. Even though they were little, I still know they remember some stuff. And I've worked hard to give them a peaceful home, a secure home, and I'm not going to have some man move into my house and disrupt that, or speak to me, disrupt, rude or degrading. I mean, I have all girls, and they see how this, how I respond to him is how they will, and what I accept from him is what they will accept from the guys they date.
Well, Tiffany said something in her interview with us that may just validate some of what Marcus has to say. Take a look.
I said, I'm going to get more followers than you on TikTok. Watch this. She said, no, you're not, Mom. No one wants to watch you. You're gross. You're gross. And it was like a week later. I was like, the Dr. Phil show wants to talk to me. I don't think we're putting this on the thing. I was like, I'm doing better than you. I said, did Dr. Phil ever try to call you? And she's like, Mom.
This is happening all in front of and in the awareness of your children who have been exposed to this kind of thing before, correct?
Yeah, the older 2 have. My 16 and 18-year-old have. Yeah.
And in your interview, you guys admit, or at least say, that Marcus has called you a slut in front of the children, and you've called him a loser in front of the children.
I don't know if I'm a loser, but...
There's been name calling in front of the kids, yes.
Yeah, I will actually say to you, don't talk to me that way in front of my kids. And they'll be sitting right there, and you'll say, like a whore. Like, remember when I actually have this on video, and I said, stop calling me a whore in front of my kids. And he goes, well, you are a whore. I threw him out that night.
Do you two want this relationship to work?
I do.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
I'm not going to, it's not going to work if he continues to degrade me, do like all the accusations I can't handle. The name calling, the disrespect, I'm not going to do it, and that will end our relationship.
And trying to embarrass me will too. It did in our relationship.
Well, Marcus says he wonders if his paycheck has something to do with Tiffany welcoming him back into their home. We're going to talk about that after the break, and I'm going to answer a very specific question that Tiffany had, and I'm going to tell this couple what I think they need to do in a very stepwise, specific fashion. We'll be right back. Marcus says one story Tiffany hasn't posted is that she welcomed him home.
You're selfish. You want to waste my gas, waste my money, ruin my Christmas.
Money is an issue in our relationship now.
You drain all my money day after Christmas, I call it.
Marcus accuses me of using him for money.
The only reason she wanted me to come back this time is because Christmas was coming up and bills needed to be paid.
Huh, that's interesting because 90% of our relationship, I have forked the bill for everything. I'm not working and staying at home. When I talk about wanting to go back, he takes it as a threat. He's like, no, I want money. Marcus says no woman of his should work.
Tiffany has a problem with me being the provider because in her past relationships, money's been held over her head.
Marcus definitely thinks if he just wasn't helping me with money, I wouldn't need him, which is strange because over half our relationship, I haven't needed him to help with anything. It's silly to let his insecurity get in the way of that.
Tell me about what your relationship's like when it's at its absolute best.
We're on the same page. You know, we're both productive, whether it's at home, working, getting the kids where they need to be. I mean, pretty much our whole life revolves around the kids.
So we have a pretty good routine when everything's going well. I notice when money becomes an issue, there's always seems to be a big stressor. Naturally, having that many kids in the house is a big stressor. He handles the kids well, and I always tell him that he handles all the kids well, handles a large family well. I know it's a lot to take on.
So let's say things are rocking along great. What's likely to trigger it to spin out of control?
Marcus accusing me of something. If I'm getting ready, he'll be like, oh, you're getting ready. Like, what are you getting ready for? You're trying to be thirsty, just stuff like that.
Let me answer your question that you asked, Tiffany. You said, is he a narcissist? Because he sure acts like one. I can tell you I see no signs whatsoever that he has a narcissistic personality disorder whatsoever. Quite the contrary, in fact. I see him as being really insecure. Narcissists can be very insecure and have a false sense of superiority, but he is openly insecure. He's threatened by a lot of things that you say and do. I don't see any of the classic signs of narcissists. What I see with both of you is that you're functioning at an emotional age of teenagers. Both of you are very manipulative. Both of you have problems with impulse control. And I think both of you have been damaged, and damaged people damage people. And both of you are damaged. And so both of you are damaging the other person, and your kids are picking up the tab for it. You guys are just letting impulses take over and doing things that I know both of you wish you didn't do after you do them. Isn't that true?
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, that's true.
How you treat each other says a whole lot more about you than it does about the other person. And you need to think about that. Now, when I began working on this story, I made a note that I had a big question to ask both Tiffany and Marcus. Their answer is going to tell me if this relationship is worth saving. I'm going to ask them that question when we come back. Viral videos, accusations of abuse, and a wedding date that's really twisting in the wind. Engaged couple Tiffany and Marcus say if they can't fix the problems in their relationship, then saying goodbye is far more likely than saying I do. So my big question for the two of you is, do you ever hold yourself to a standard of asking, what is your motive for what you do when you do it? Now, I know your impulse takes over, but do you ever hold yourself, Marcus, to the standard of saying, when I'm getting ready to do this, yell into the phone, I'm done, which obviously you aren't because you keep coming back. You have a motive for doing that. Do you ever ask yourself, what is my motive?
Well, at the moment, I'm always just trying to win the argument. That's probably the problem. I want to win the argument. We're yelling at each other. blah, blah, blah. You know, she's saying stuff to hit my buttons. I'm saying stuff to hit her buttons. And my only goal at that time is just to make her mad.
Tiffany, what is your motive? When you're doing the things that you're doing here that clearly are upsetting him, holding him up to ridicule publicly so strangers can comment and get his attention, I get all that. What do you think the ultimate outcome is going to be? Do you think he's going to read comments from these faceless strangers across the globe and say, oh, okay, I need to change who I am?
I think that the TikTok and all that was kind of like my last straw. I've tried, asked to go to see someone with him. I've tried asking if we're going to do like a safe word, like, hey, we're getting too pushed. Let's just say this and then we'll step back. I feel like I've exhausted everything I can think of to try to stop the arguments from getting to that level or stop the disrespect from getting to that level. And I feel like I get nowhere. I don't know if my motive is anything other than I would prefer a healthy relationship, and I'm just kind of at a loss at how to get him there with me.
Well, let me give you some very solid advice. Either one of you can pull the plug, but it takes both of you to plug the holes. What I mean by that is if you want to feel loved, if you want to feel safe, then your first step is to be more lovable. Your first step is to say, I don't have to react every time this situation starts to blow up. Take this off of social media for 6 months, and you will be amazed what happens if you two turn towards each other instead of away from each other. You guys need to grow up and calm down. And you honestly need to, when you finish talking to me, you need to look at each other and say, listen, he's telling us the truth. We either need to decide that we're going to redefine this relationship or we just need to stop it. And Tiffany, you don't need to fix him. You need to fix you. Marcus, you don't need to fix her. You need to fix you. And if you're doing everything you can to be all that you can be, I promise you this relationship will take a sharp turn in the right direction. Now, what do you hear me saying, Marcus?
I hear you telling us that we need to stop with the bull crap, act like teenagers, and grow up and be a good standard for our kids because they are growing up seeing this.
If I want to be loved the way I feel like I need to be loved, then I need to be the person that deserves that kind of love. I don't want these bad times to happen.
You guys are doing a lot of things right. You just need to eliminate a lot of this toxicity and let those good things bubble up. You're functioning at an emotional age of about 14, and I'm not saying that to insult you. I'm just saying behaviorally, that's what you're doing. And the good thing about behaviors is they have a beginning and an end. And you can just stop them today. And I want a progress report from you in 90 days. I want to know what's going on. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Yep.
All right. I'm pulling for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We're still ahead. The new year is a perfect time to set new goals rather than resolutions. I'll explain what I mean next, and I'll show you a great way to reduce stress in the process. Back into the routine of life now that the holidays are behind us. This is the time to focus on you. Now, you may have spent weeks making family and friends happy with gifts and parties, but now it's your turn. Whether you make big New Year's resolutions or not, it's the perfect time to set small goals. And I'm talking about goals, not resolutions. Because making a start of the year resolution, like losing weight or stopping smoking, sounds great, but you may be doomed from the start without actionable steps to get there. Small steps or goals can be more powerful and lead to success rather than aiming straight for the finish line with a resolution. We don't leap tall buildings in a single bound, I promise you. Setting those small goals can be as simple as committing to drinking more water every day on your weight loss path rather than telling yourself, I'm going to lose 20 pounds by summer. Make the goals obtainable, measurable, and beneficial to the larger picture you're trying to achieve. If you do this just by all willpower, you're going to fail by the middle of February. 84% of the people do. So you need these goals that you can actually reach. Consider the tough couple of years we've been through, and maybe your goal is to find a way to relax and reduce stress. Most of us lost the opportunity to socialize, travel, and do things that make us happy and provide mental and emotional well-being. Now, this may sound simple, but even taking 5 minutes to yourself to close your eyes and meditate, really close things out, can make a huge difference in reducing stress and burnout. Now, my staff works incredibly hard, and I encourage them to take free moments for themselves whenever they can. And that break can also be playing an app game right on their cell phone. Now, you've heard me talk about something called Bingo Blitz. It's the #1 free-to-play social bingo game. And it has the biggest bingo community in the world. And since we've talked about that game so much, some members of my staff have gotten into it. Whether it's during their lunch breaks, while they're waiting for guests to arrive, or before making that drive home after a long workday. It's a great way to step away from reality for even a few moments to relax and enjoy themselves. But this is no ordinary bingo. The app has truly reinvented the game. It has high action with innovative features, and there's something new every single day. One of the reasons it's so popular is the game has a unique social platform that lets you play with family and friends or meet new friends all over the world. Imagine living in California and making friends with people in Turkey, Italy, Hong Kong, or anywhere right from your cell phone. And you already have something in common, which is the love of the game. And as you play, you move up levels and end up in new rooms set in different cities and countries all around the world. And the voices calling the numbers and letters even have the region's accent. There's never a dull moment because there are exciting power-ups to help you get bingo, as well as mini games and so much more. So if you're looking for a break in your day, just go to your App Store or Google Play and download Bingo Blitz today. And when you do, you'll get a special welcome bonus. It's really a lot of fun. I think you'll really like it. I want to thank all of my guests today, and if you'd like to join us here in the studio audience, just go to my website, drphil.com, for all the details. Be sure to follow me on the social media platforms. Don't forget to join our Facebook group, Dr. Phil Fanatics. That's PHA